not crossing your body, which is why it's called forward. So you're gonna be coming out.
All right.
When you're ready, yep. Here, step in, maintain control of the foot, which I prefer to do. Come up against the elbow and push. I only have to grab my wrist like you see a lot of fighters do. It's pushing against this elbow, keeping the gate closed. You're pushing his elbow this way, pushing his wrist that way. He might punch you in the back, he might punch you in your head, but try it again, keep punching me. See what I'm talking about? You can easily maintain control, and if anything, take the knife away. Or if you want to, pick it up and have some fun. Now to keep the video going, we'll do reverse. Good? Yeah, I know it's gonna hurt your elbow, I'm not trying to. So reverse is like, let's say he does a forward slash first, right? Do the forward one and then the reversal. Let's say you lean back, you get out of the way, he misses. You come in, again, he's trying to stab you. Out of habit from you already, maintain control of that foot. It's here, and it's opening up the gate again. You're gonna be pushing with your pec, the elbow that way, and pulling the wrist this way. He's gonna resist. He's still resisting, and guess what? If he resists, he doesn't let go, look how simple this is. Brush the knife. If it doesn't have the hook like this, you can still hit the top of the blade without getting cut. And even if you do get cut, I'd rather have my palm get cut than my chest, my stomach, my arteries. Now, if he does a straight thrust, hollowing out, so it's here, you can either do the X block like we've been taught, you can grab. I prefer the X block because it helps you maintain control. It looks a little
more secure. Yeah.
You definitely want to be secure here. And then once you do the X block, you want to maintain control with your right hand if you're a righty, left hand if you're a lefty. If you're a righty, bring this over your left shoulder. If you're a lefty, bring it over your right shoulder. And from here, he's resisting, he's taller than me, he's resisting. Knife's all the way over there. Now we can have a fair fight. Let me just grab that and we'll do the overhead thrust. Now overhead, most of the time when you see this, people will be blade down because especially a taller guy, like he's gonna want to come down with all that force on top of my head. He wants to end this fight. So as soon as he goes to do that, here underneath, it's basically like an Americana, and you pull against the shoulder. If he doesn't drop the knife, which he should, if you want to get close up on this, I'm just grabbing my wrist. I'm not even in on him. I could just tap if I'm hurting you.
No, you're good.
I could just pull here against the shoulder, and he'll either drop it or I'm gonna break his shoulder. And then once he does drop the knife, you can literally grab this and go right up on him, or you can end the fight. So to get a better angle at that one more time, I'm about to say you might not want to resist so I don't accidentally do too much force. I almost popped my elbow out doing this. So when he comes down at you, it's here. Because even if you miss this block, you're still on the inside and that knife temporarily is out of the equation. So even on a tall guy like John here, pulling in, and it's just pulling against that shoulder. And he's either going to drop it or go right to the ground. If he drops it, I can still maintain control of this elbow, right? Here I can still pull against it. Now watch, I can let go with this hand, still pull against it, and be able to maintain this knife. And right now I got him. Got him in a shoulder lock, and if you want to with the hand, a wrist lock, I got the blade to his neck. And right now, these techniques, life or death. I hope no one's ever in this situation to begin with, but it's good to know. All right, so we're gonna go over blade up and blade down, which is basically just called regular stance and reverse grip, or what we call it in the core. So both of us are blade up, or it doesn't even matter what he's at. You can go blade up, blade down, whatever your preference is. My enemy is trying to do forward slash on me. So if you don't mind doing that, here, forearm to forearm, keeping it as high as possible here above your head. You don't want to extend your arm because if you miss, he can get you. You want to keep it at that Wing Chun kind of 45-degree angle. So come at me with a good bit of force. He came at me with a good bit of force just now. My first instinct was here, artery. You cut this artery, he'll more than likely drop the knife first of all. And if he doesn't, he's got about 60 seconds before he blacks out. So as soon as you cut this artery, instinctively you should, that's my preference, is when I cut here, I come down into the, right? He's a bigger guy than me. He's got bigger reach. Here's that 45-degree angle. I'm really just trying to keep this away. Even if he angles it down and cuts my forearm, I'll take that because I'm already here. I cut that artery and instinctively artery right into thigh. Because as soon as I cut this artery and I come down the hip, if it's a sharp enough blade, I will basically gut you down to your thigh, and I got 2 arteries cut now. And then come right in for the finishing blow. So that's forward. That's when he's coming at you. And it's the same concept for reverse. So if he wants to come here, I got the elbow, right? So instinctively here, what I do here already out of instinct. Got control of the front foot. It's a little harder to try to cut on the inside, because if you cut here and you try to cut here and you miss, you might cut yourself. So when I cut here, out of habit, I always go directly for the ribs. The ribs are open. You dig it into his ribs, you're gonna kill him. He will drop this knife. If I cut here, this knife's gonna drop, and here I'm gonna kill him. Or come straight up right for the jaw. Because you have this entire open gate here. Even if he tries to block me here, right? He doesn't have the time. It's too close. It's not possible. So do that all one more time and then try to block me on my counter. I mean, when you know a heads up what's gonna happen, right? So go again. It's not possible.
Yeah,
this blade would have been a good 2 or 3 inches into his stomach. And most people at that point, unless there's hella adrenaline going, they're not gonna fight anymore. And then last one is, well, I guess 2 more. One would be straight thrust. So if he's coming right for the belly, you can try to grab, which I try to stay open-handed, as much room as possible to stop that wrist. You can go with your forearm. I wouldn't suggest straightening it out, because he's gonna run right up your forearm like it's a path. So here, palm down, try to keep that forearm like a rising block almost, but downward. And then it's here, blade here, because again, here's that artery, here's all those veins, and cut, and draw right in. Notice how instinctively, this is where Wing Chun comes into play as well. When I blocked here and I cut, what did my wrist do? One of the fist forms, pushed out, and that's when I came in for the kill here, because if he tries to keep pushing in with this, I can lift my elbow up. Or even so, I can push it down. There's a lot of flowing movements I can do in this form. That's why these techniques are important to know. And the last one would be coming overhead, blade up or blade down, it's preference. But go for it. Same concept. Rising block up, keep this from digging into your skull, especially a guy taller than you. Right here, he has this nice, beautiful artery that runs up his elbow. Cut here, and again, my instinct, cut here, and then drive in. He can try to block. Try again. Ready? He blocked me, right? So I cut here, and I maybe cut his thigh. I still got the main artery, one of 3 that run through your body. So if that's the case, this knife is gone, I'll push him away. Like I said, you can literally, at that point, if you wanted to run, you'll outrun because the blow becomes so much, it's just gonna squirt out of that artery. So now we got our knee sticks. So our knee stick versus our knee stick, which in McMAP, Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, we call weapons of opportunity. You're mounting a house, which is what we call when we're clearing houses. Rifle runs out of ammo, something happens, someone picks up a crowbar, you pick up a block of wood, now you're fighting with whatever's around you. So let's say, same concept. He goes for that forward slash, right? Here, forearm to forearm, here to here. Or weapon opportunity, weapon opportunity. And same concept here with Wing Chun. Now you're gonna push that out, and instinctively what I like to do is I like to come straight for the head, or follow it in. Because if I'm here on the inside, he can try to follow it in towards my head, but by the time he does, you're good. I've already made contact with them. So you want to control the inside as much as possible. So here to here. Same concept with reverse. So, see what I already did instinctively was I tried to go for the wrist. These things will break your wrist real fast, real hard. But if it was weapon opportunity, right now you got, again, right now you got the outside of the elbow, which is what I prefer, because you can push down, destroy the knee. Your options are limitless at that point. It's all preference at that point for what you want to do. Now, if he tries to go overhead, trying to smash, damn, you're tall. trying to smash your skull in. Forearm to forearm, weapon opportunity. Same concept no matter which direction it's coming from, which is why it's easy to remember. Forearm to forearm, weapon opportunity. Push out, and then come here. He can try to block with his forearm a weapon of opportunity, and then you're either at a stalemate, or if the weapon of opportunity hits his forearm, which a lot of times will happen because you have no idea the force and the speed coming at you. Like, I'll pull, but let's do it again. Ready? he was not going to be able to pull that hand up in time. Even if he does, this will probably break your forearm. Now, last one is if he wants to come straight at me, like he's trying just to gut check me, a crowbar, that will stab you, like a pipe almost. He wants to gut check me, right? Right here. I can either go for the hand or listen up to really push that away from me. Same concept. What you learn in Wing Chun. Push out, go for the ribs. Break the ribs if you can. Really open that gate. Or again, I like breaking the knee if you can. If he has no legs, he can't fight. If you break those knees and he can't get up, all you gotta do is step this far away and he can't hurt me no more. So now the last portion of this is if it's a blade versus a weapon opportunity. Do you want blade or do you want me to blade?
I'll take this.
Okay. Here's where we get into a distance problem. His reach, just regular arm-wise on me, he's got 6 inches on me. This weapon opportunity is twice the length of this knife. This is where you need to start learning how to read your opponent. You need to watch his shoulders and his hips to try to predict what he's going to do. Don't rely how you fight off of predictions because it's not the right way to fight. But if I see him cock his right shoulder back, that tells me he's going to swing towards me. So as soon as he does, it's forearm to forearm, same concept. Knife to artery. Or if you have to bite the bullet, which sometimes you have to in a real fight, forearm to weapon opportunity, and here at the wrist. I'll take one bad impact if it means making him drop this weapon to where now, because I cut his wrist and he drops it, I have a knife, he has nothing. So, you want to reverse strike on him? So, same concept, try to go in towards the elbow if you can't, and you have to use your knife as a weapon of opportunity to absorb that hit. Same concept. Once you're here, I've done this before in training, you can follow the weapon of opportunity down to the fingers with your knife. This is the Wing Chun aspect of the butterfly knives. Once you do that, you dig in a knife into the guy's hand, he'll probably drop his weapon. If not, at least it gives me that moment to step in and close that distance. He comes over. Weapon to weapon, or if you can close the gap fast enough, elbow to elbow, knife to wrist. Because even if he comes down a little bit and hits me in the head, it's okay. Because from here, again, now I have all that to work with. Last one will be a straight thrust. This hollowing out would work. You're going to get hit though, because again, the reach is an issue here. So what I recommend, instead of hollowing out, is that if you come at me again, is where Wing Chun comes into play. That slight hip movement. You always see on the dummy when you're working it, you twist your hips to turn your body out of the way. So if he does that, I took a small impact about here, but again, the blade reached to his wrist is what we're trying to do. And if he doesn't and it reaches here, follow it right to his hand. He'll more likely drop the weapon. If he doesn't, now that his arm extended, he's going to pull back instinctively, but now I can close that distance. So if you want to do it fast, just one time, coming straight at me and pull back. You know? I've already stabbed him 3 or 4 times. Sometimes you got to absorb and eat that first hit to open up your opportunities to end that fight. And that's it.